St. John's forward. So it's been, but no, it's so much stuff.
I feel that's already.
And after next year, we're.
Alrighty, welcome to the March meeting of the Human Resources and Compensation Committee. I'll call the meeting to order. Has the meeting been properly posted?
Yes, it has.
All right, we're now in the section of our meeting where there's an opportunity for citizens to speak. Do we have anyone that would like to address the committee? Doesn't look like that, so seeing none and no correspondence via email or anything, we'll move to the action items for approval. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the February HR committee or compensation committee meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the minutes from the February HR and compensation committee meeting. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. Oh, I did want to just make a note as a reminder for everybody, for any action items that are on the agenda, we always ask for the motion first and then discussion afterwards. So there's still time for discussion, it just comes after the motion, not before. So, all right, so the next item is the resignations and retirements. So we have one resignation for approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the resignation as presented. Any discussion? All right.
Preschool community need.
Preschool community, you said, the addition of, having a lot of students who are identified or getting identified for special ed in our PK sites and partner sites. Oh, we're needing some help in that area.
Anyone else? All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the resignation as presented. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. Next we have leaves of absence and leave modifications. We have 3 leave requests for approval. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the leave request as presented. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. Next is approval of new contracts and contract modifications. There are 2 new modified contracts for approval this evening. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the contracts and contract modifications as presented. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion passes 5-0. Next, we have the approval of the recommended candidate for the position of Assistant Principal Athletic Director for North High School. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
All right. Ms. Kozlowski? Seconded by Ms. Koenig. So it's been moved and seconded to approve the recommended candidate for the position of Assistant Principal Athletic Director for North High School. Any discussion?
Yeah, I do. So Dr. Siebert, we had talked, or there was some discussions about whether or not we needed to have individual athletic directors at each of the high schools versus consolidated. Is that something we've considered, or it's just too big for us to navigate with one?
Are you saying separate the 2 positions, separate the assistant principal from the athletic director, or are you talking like overall athletic director?
Overall athletic director.
We've talked more about separating the position at each school individually
Okay.
and then providing more district level support from our level as opposed to having a district-wide AD at this point.
Okay. And then to that discussion point on separating the principal role from the athletic director. Is that something we're still looking at or is potential to look at in the future?
Yeah, Mrs. Thede, you want to kind of talk more about that?
Yeah, I would say it's something that we're still looking at as we're bringing someone new into North and looking how we can maybe streamline and allow that to be a little bit more of an AD focus versus the AD AP. workload.
Okay, that's all I have.
Yeah, good question.
All right, anyone else?
Do you have a question? What does the co-op look like with the athletic directors? Because we're co-op two schools, we have two athletic directors. Who takes the lead on it?
I believe that they would collaborate. I don't know if they decide, depending on who has more students, if that one's taking the lead.
Because there'd be a lot of different scheduling from school to school and where you're playing and.
All right, anyone else? All right, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion passes 5-0. All right, next we have the approval of the recommended candidate for the position of Director of Special Education. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the recommended candidate for the position of Director of Special Education. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passes 5-0. Next item on our agenda is any discussion or information items. We do have one, which is special education staffing. And Ms. Stevie, you have some information you wanted to provide.
Sure, I just wanted to provide an update based on a question at last month's board meeting regarding special ed staffing, that there were some concerns in that area. But I did an update to let us know that we did add a total of 10 teachers this year from last year for special ed. So we started the year with 8 additional teachers, and then we added 2 more postings and filled those earlier this fall and kind of into the winter to help offset the needs that we're seeing. And we are seeing a growing need in that area. So I think we've been really responsive with a very large addition to the special ed staffing, mostly at the elementary, but we did place some at the secondary level as well. With those needs goes an increase of aid time. So we've also added aid time in positions, but also there's increasing hours for certain aides in certain buildings. So we're able to make sure that we have coverage. So I just wanted to provide that update that we actually have more hours and people this year than we have in years past.
I think that's an important recognition and support for recognizing the need that we have with the students, as well as the bandwidth that comes with taking on an increased workload. But I do want to call out, I mean, this is a really big deal. We get a lot of communication per se from the community, especially within understanding, making sure how we understand IEPs. But we're talking, we have 10 FTEs more this year than we did last year. With the increased hours, we are giving more work, but also to the few, they qualify for benefits. These are all extremely positive things that we are doing within the district and to really address and grow the needs that we're seeing in being proactive. And the other piece to it, I mean, this is a really kind of a hot discussion item that you'll see not, locally just, but it's the state and nationally, that these are hard to fill roles and there's so many different viewpoints on them. And I think it's very easy to get lost in some metrics when you see turnovers, but at the reality of what we're seeing, we're doing really well. A lot of the pieces is, kudos to the support that we're doing, bringing them in and addressing the needs. But I'm pretty pleased to hear this. I know Sharon, you and I had multiple conversations about this, and I think it's really important for our community to understand that this is something that we take very seriously, that we've been looking at. We recognize the hardship that this is, and it's extremely hard to find those that are willing to do this role. So to see that we're ahead of where we were last year, adding hours, supporting that, and really looking at the workload, I think is a really strong point for you guys to make, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, and with the approval of the Director of Secondary Education tonight, obviously that's a positive. I don't know if you can comment on that. Was that a role that we considered doing without for a time and then
Correct.
fill it?
So this year we tried to do a reduction in that area, so we didn't fill. It would be the director of, right now it's just called the Director of Special Education. It's a specialized role where they're using, working with a lot of our related services. And we just found that filling that internally has been very difficult. So we decided to post and bring that position back again as another layer of support for our teachers and our students.
I'd like to comment on that. Dr. Siebert, I think that's a very big kudos to you. We get so much viewpoint for being fiscally responsible and taking a look at administrative roles and what do we have staff and how are we doing with that. And so to take the approach that we were going to try to see if we could do more with less and still provide the same level of service and support and meet our students, and recognizing that we do need to bring that back in. I think that's a really big, commendament to you to say thank you. We are filling the needs of every student. We are trying to be fiscally wise with our payroll costs and the administration level. And when it comes down to it, the students that we serve come first. And again, these are good things that we are doing to address the needs of our population, and very happy to see that.
I mean, that's very kind of you, Mrs. Kozlowski. The credit really goes to Ms. Campbell. She's the one that
Same.
is overseeing that department
And
and
so
saw the
that,
need and is trying to figure out how we balance it. And she's been able to bring those two departments, teaching and learning and student services, very, very close together. And so it's really a tribute to her.
and it's all good news. These are good, big things that we are making the right decisions at the right point to do what we can. And I want to call that out.
No, it's a good point, and I'm just curious, off the top of your head, when we decided to post the position, how long did it take to fill it?
The director position, 3 weeks.
We had it posted for open for 2, but I think the process itself, we were about 3.5 weeks with reference checks. We had several applicants.
Great candidate.
Yeah, we were very pleased.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty quick turnaround
Yeah.
once it was posted.
Yep.
That's
Crazy fast.
Yeah. Great. All right, thank you. All right, next is other business. Any other topics or ideas for future meetings?
Okay.
No, okay. Well, you got our email if you think of something. All right, next meeting is gonna be April 10th at 6:15 right here. Thank you all. The meeting's adjourned.